Hello and welcome to a rather silly game. Of course, everything is very simple over here. There's no menu and you're just straight into the game. And so this is unfair flips. And so in this game, you basically have to land on heads 10 times in a row. Now, obviously, there's only like 20% chance that you can land on heads. But of course, later on, as the game progresses, you can get more and more upgrades, which don't actually increase the chance of you landing on heads. But there are a couple of factors that sort of influence the scale, and it might tip it in your favor. And so, yeah, without further ado, grab a cup of coffee and let's get going with unfair flips. Alright, I actually don't really know how loud the volume's gonna be because it's all I'm hearing is static, so okay, that's a fair, that's Tails, of course. That's a pretty fair that's a pretty fair volume, Tails. And that's where the menu pops up. Welcome to Unfair Flips. A game about probability. Okay. Tails, like the Sonic character? That's a lot of Sonic characters. Ah. Oh, wait, you can get it. Oh, you can increase the... Oh, I thought you couldn't. Interesting, okay. Interesting. Is now... Jeez. Tails. Made by Heather. I don't know what I said, Heather. I was like, wait, hold on, that's how I pronounce it. Heather Flowers. Art by Gwendolyn Marchant. And a special sound effects by by Surashu. That's cool. Help. My probability is not working. There we go. What is that supposed to mean? There we go. 25. So a quarter of the time is going to be heads. Hell yeah. Oh, balls. To win the game, get 10 heads in a row. Alright, we're just gonna sit here. Now that I think about it, this is just a clicker game. This could happen immediately, or it could happen never. That's true. Heads. Because you do have to get this. It's basically 25% in a row, like multiple times in a row. So it's gonna be quite difficult. Well, it's not difficult because it's not difficult in the traditional sense. It's improbable, let's just say, which means that we're just gonna sit here for 20,000 years. I should probably just get an auto clicker for this. This is the entire game. And so, yeah. There's really not much else I can really talk about. I guess I can talk about my experience in Mexico. It's not for me. Mainly because of the weather. Obviously, I'm in Canada. I grew up in Canada, and so as a result, I'm very much so. I'm built for Canadian weather. Like for me, having like a good low temperature is probably the best thing that can happen. So like I said, autumn is the best time of the whatchamacallit, is the best season for me. So that reaches about 16 degrees Celsius, which, I mean, I guess to some people is cold, but it's not too bad. The thing with that is that allows me to wear all my fashionable clothing and stuff like that. 1.6 seconds, jeez, okay. Hell yeah. And so I like autumn. I would like winter too because of the ambience it creates, right? It's very nice, it's very pillowy, it's very quiet. And so one reason why it's very quiet whenever there's a whenever it's really quiet, like wait, I lost my train of thought. the reason why it's really quiet when there's snowfall is because the snow quite literally acts as a, I guess, soundproofing. So there's just so much like, yeah, it's like whenever it snows, like the outside just like becomes so quiet. It's very, very nice. But yeah, and also when it snows, if you're just sitting at home chilling, you're drinking some hot drink like a I don't know, like a hot cup of coffee, I don't know, just like a ginger honey lemon tea. This is your 100th flip. No achievement for that? Or hot chocolate or something along those lines. Not hot cocoa. Hot cocoa is chocolate powder mixed with water, and that's not as good because it's so diluted. But yeah, I like hot chocolate. We don't really have any cocoa powder anymore, so I do kind of want I will kind of want to stock up on it a bit more. But winter does have a lot of cozy vibes, which I thoroughly enjoy. The thing about it is that it's, you basically just have to go outside and shovel, which is a pain because why would you need to go outside and shovel? What a life. And honestly, traveling in the winter is still a pain because my city is not great with traffic. So it's never been its forte, basically. So yeah. So winter isn't great, but I can still survive in winter. I always prefer cold weather over like warmer weather, mainly because at some point you can only take off so many layers, right? If you're in Mexico and you're at the beach, you can take off your clothes and that's, you know, like your top. Not like, if you're a guy, you can take off your top or whatever. Oh, there are multiple endings to this game, really. When you reach 9 heads in a row, presuming you don't hit tails on your 10th flip, the game will select an ending randomly. What is that supposed to mean? Of those endings, you will have a 10% chance of the coin actually landing heads. Oh, that's horrible. Only a 10% chance? Dude. That's mean. That's so mean. Rude. Yeah, so there's only so many layers they can take off when you're in warmer weather. But when you're in colder weather, there are so many ways to warm up. You can just wrap yourself in a blanket and get a nice cozy jacket, get a warm drink. So, I don't know, maybe cuddle with someone, but I unfortunately don't have anyone to cuddle with, which is fine. And so there's a lot of coziness, I think, that inherently comes with colder weather, which I really like. Anyways, how did I switch from Mexico to this? But yeah, within Mexico, it's hot and it's humid. It's not the first time that I've been in extremely hot weather. I mean, Morocco in the desert was like 40, like in the high 40s. It was awful because the moment you walked out of like the AC or like walked out of the shadows, it would basically be difficult to breathe, and it's quite horrible. But that was dry. That was very, very much so dry heat, right? There wasn't much humidity in the air, so that was a lot better because in Mexico the air is extremely humid, and so whenever I actually just stepped outside, it was horrible because the moment you stepped outside, you'll be sticky because the air is just that humid. It's pretty awful. yeah, I don't like the Mexican weather. Um, and you know, I like, no, that's nice. Um, and that, but again, I like the culture. I like the people. I like the food. But really, oh, okay then. Oh, balls. But the weather was just intolerable for me. It didn't help that I'm the one who carries a lot of the camera gear. So what happens is that I have a heavy backpack, like sticking to my back, and it was just horrible. And of course, the camera straps are, of course, digging into my shoulders, so it wasn't the best. I remember the first day that we arrived. Yeah, I don't think I've sweat that much. It was pretty awful. So yeah. Again, it's just the weather that I have the main issues with. Cause another thing is just reception. I know these are very, very first world problems. These are very, very first world problems, and I apologize for that. But the reception is really awful in a lot of places, so you can't really get access to a lot of like, even if you get like an eSIM or data or whatever, you can't really access it all the time. So there's that. Okay, do keep in mind that of course we tipped every time that we ate out or just for the hotel room and stuff like that. Obviously because they don't actually get paid all that much. So of course we were tipping the staff in American dollars, which is of course a currency that they use a lot of. Well, they don't use a lot of it, but in terms of like the equivalent, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know why I'm rambling, but yes, we did tip them with American dollars, even though we're Canadian and the exchange rate is pretty awful. But ooh, Canadian economy. But yeah, overall I did enjoy it. The food was very, very flavorful, very good. They have a tendency to put cinnamon in a lot of things, which I'm actually fine with. Cinnamon's actually really good. Like I really do enjoy cinnamon. I actually didn't like cinnamon as a child, but I think that's just because Canada doesn't know how to use cinnamon. But in Mexico, when they use cinnamon, you can still taste it, of course, but it's a lot more subtle. It's like a subtle fragrance, which I can really get behind. There is a not a porridge, an oatmeal, and they have like they do have like a stick of cinnamon, sort of brewing, I guess would be the best way, or they have like a stick of cinnamon like infusing with the oatmeal, and it just tastes it really, really good. Yeah, overall it's very, very good. One thing that I did notice is they also had a lot of cats. Very cute. I actually got adopted by a cat. It's the cat adoption system. So I was like taking photos of cats because I do like just my photography of just animals. I never really take photos of humans. It's never been really my thing. It's just not my thing. But yeah, so I was taking photos of cats, and then a cat just circled around me. I was like, yeah, cat adoption system. It was great. But unfortunately, because we don't really live there, we can't really take the cat away with us. But that cat was cute. That cat was so cute. Oh, that's a big coin. I just realized they grew. Cool. what's the next one I should get? Nah, crap. That's fine. Okay. Nope, no combo gang. No combo going. That's fine. But yeah, it's really cool because we got to, I mean, one of my favorite activities, which we couldn't go because there was actually a cyclone, was that we were actually supposed to like help the baby turtles go into the, help lead the baby turtles back into the ocean, because of course, baby turtles actually, they actually, bury their young in the sand, and then of course they hatch out and then they just go into the water. So we were supposed to have an activity like that, but because of the cyclone, a lot of the just places near the coastline were just demolished. So of course the baby turtle shells apparently were damaged. And more than that, a lot of the just buildings near the coastline have been damaged, and so they needed to have repairs. Of course, that means that people's livelihoods were affected, and it's just, you know, overall not a good situation to be in, because, I mean, Mexico's economy isn't exactly the best, right? But yeah. I mean, overall the people were nice, so no incidents in particular happened. Sure. Nope. Fine. Okay. So we're just gonna click this until oblivion, huh? That's fine. Oh geez, that's gonna take a bit. This is gonna take a bit. This game is not giving me the results I wanted to. Okay. Nope. I swear I'm like going insane because I'm staring at the coin intently, and it's like there's something about this. Oh god. Okay. Here's why I'm not good at math. I'm canonically not good at math. What else? Yeah, the fruits in Mexico are very, very good. That's also something else I have to say about it. Very good. Yeah, so there's something that is obviously there's a couple of exceptions to this, but usually places that are hotter will tend to use a few more herbs, spices, and just stuff like that. And whereas colder places tend to have less of seasonings, herbs, spices, and stuff like that. Obviously, there's your 500th Philip. But obviously there are some exceptions to that, but that's the general rule of thumb. But if you take a look at places like Morocco, Mexico, even China, like Sichuan, which is, I'm saying that name in Cantonese, but if you take a look at those places, they do tend to have a lot of spices and herbs, and of course that can be linked to things like a preservation techniques, right, where spices and herbs tend to ward off bacteria and tend to preserve things for longer. Humans have a strange relationship to probability. Even when presented with completely truthful odds, as you can see in the top left of the screen, people still want to believe in some trick, some way of changing the odds flat as they are. There is no way to beat these odds, there's only time. Time indeed. Alright. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you take a look at, like, generally colder places. It could also be like that the biodiversity in colder places just isn't present because a lot of things just don't grow there. But of course, there can be alternatives, because no one in Ottawa as well. I think in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Of course, there can be a huge biodiversity as well. And a lot of restaurants have relied on their own farms, and they're like, oh yeah, local produce and stuff like that. And I think that for the most part, biodiversity is something that we can explore more. Which reminds me that we actually went bird watching, but as a result, I actually got assaulted by so many mosquitoes. Yeah, it was not great. The amount of mosquito bites that I have right now is actually quite insane. But that's fine. I did enjoy the birds. It's actually interesting because we actually saw a pygmy owl. A pygmy owl is just like a very, very small owl. Very, very cute. Yeah, overall I very much so enjoyed it. Yeah, it's just cool just experiencing the different biodiversity of each, like, place. Yeah, obviously we also saw like a chocolate sort of plantation. Not plantation. It's more like a museum type of thing. But yeah. And of course, coffee, which only grows in a very specific strip in the world. Again, very hot places as well. What else? Yeah, I enjoyed bird watching. Yeah, but 1,000, brother. Oh boy, this is gonna take a bit. Oh boy. Tails, heads, tails. I don't know how much I can actually yap, so for now I'll actually drink some water while I actually continue to click on this, so enjoy the endless amounts of coin clicking, I guess. But here's another first world problem for you guys. So because of the cyclone, why did I say that? So a hurricane, a cyclone, Jesus, what is happening to my English? A hurricane, a cyclone, and a typhoon. I keep mixing up the words, which is why they sound weird. But those depend on which sea that they're at, right? Depending on the sea, hurricane, cyclone, and typhoon are used. So because of the cyclone, we couldn't actually go to the beach. We were able to go for like a day or so, but yeah, otherwise for the rest of the week we couldn't actually access the beach. Yeah, and sometimes the purple flag was raised, and a purple flag, when it's raised in the beach, means that there's actually a predator nearby. The predator in the water in question is just crocodile, which is crocodiles. Yeah, they're big. Apparently they can grow up to 4 meters long, which means that they are huge. But of course, further out in the open sea, there can be sharks. But not so close to us, so yeah, we didn't really have any problems with that. We did, of course, see crocodiles, which is fine. Yeah, other than that, I guess I'm gonna have to make a PowerPoint for that, which I did do for my Japan trip, right? I made a PowerPoint for my Japan trip, and oh boy, my hand is gonna hurt. Alright, let's just do this. So I'm now using the touchpad instead of my mouse, because my mouse is gonna hurt me. There we go. This can take forever. Guys, I don't think I'm meant to win this game. I really don't think I'm meant to win this game. I mean, it's only been 30 minutes, which is fine. I'm trying to think what else I can talk about from my Mexico trip. Or else you're just going to be sitting here. But I did work a lot on stuff when I was in Mexico, which is the opposite of a vacation. Oh, right. We also saw so many iguanas in Mexico, which was cool. I do like my lizards. For the most part, sometimes they are mean. We did see spiders as well. The yellow web spider. Yeah, it's really interesting because the silk of the spider is actually so much more resilient than anything. Like, you can apply quite a bit of pressure on the yellow webbing of the spider, and honestly, it still holds. It just goes to show you how insane nature really is, right? Why am I getting 2 heads in a row, but like not 3? I'm just poor now. Ay. It's not giving me any money. Oh boy. I'm so cooked. Oh boy. But yeah, that was really cool. And the webbing of the spider is actually yellow. There's a very distinct yellow tone to it, which I think was really, really cool. Even though, again, I used to be arachnophobic, but nowadays I'm just like mad at spiders. I'm like, ew, get out of here. So that's funny. Oh, coin worth is maxed out. Is that $1? Really? Okay. Well, that's gonna be tough. Oh, jeez. I mean, I guess it is a lot faster than before, but still. Also, there's this very specific photo of a dog, which looks like it came out of Renaissance painting. Renaissance. Yeah, that's cute. So there's that. Oh, there's a night tour where we actually visited Los Arcos, and around that area, there's actually bioluminescent algae. Of course, the bioluminescence was a bit too faint to take like proper photos, and again, we were on a boat, which meant that I couldn't necessarily take photos of it. I would have, but man, it's difficult because it's always shaky, and it's best to do longer exposure photos when you're trying to take some photos in low light. But of course, if you're on a boat, it's pretty much impossible to do like long exposure photos unless the boat is extremely steady. But yeah, no, you're gonna get like rocked, so it's not happening. So yeah, I did want to get the bioluminescence and stuff, but alas, we did see it. Yeah, it didn't help that we actually had a full moon the day of, which meant that it was actually a lot harder to spot anything because the moon is so bright, and any sort of form of light pollution makes it like so much harder to spot. So yeah. We also saw some cairns. Cairns as in like the stacked rocks. People are very skilled with it. Like, they're able to balance things with just like the very, very tip of the rock, which is so cool. Okay. apples. 2. Nope. I'm not getting multipliers for this. Okay, let's do this. 1, 2. Just 1, 2. Jeez. How frugal of you. Hell yeah. Okay, 50. 10,000. Holy crap. Okay. We're gonna be sitting here for a while, I feel like. So you're just gonna hear me yapping about things. So yeah, it was good. I mean, honestly, I did really enjoy the trip, regardless of the weather. It was overall just a very, very nice experience. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to experience different cultures. Now I know obviously they're not necessarily in the best position. This is your 1000th flip. Cool. And I know I'm of course in a very privileged position to be able to just go to Mexico and experience all of this stuff, whereas some people might never be able to experience these different things, right? It is possible, although unlikely, that this game will never end. There are no safeguards in place to prevent such a thing. This is an exercise in raw probability. 20% is an unfailing 20%. 30% is an unfailing 30%. 100% is an unfailing 100%. Even though you cannot ever reach 100%, that would defeat the purpose. That's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't expect you to necessarily put out 100%. Go. Ah, poop. Okay. Oh, it's at 10,000. Jeez. Okay. That's gonna be so much. Oh boy. Oh jeez. So this is just a clicker. I might just get an auto clicker just because my wrist is hurting, and I don't want my wrist to hurt because I gotta do stuff tomorrow as well, which is fine. Yeah. Of course, next month I have a trip to Hong Kong, so another very humid place, another hot and humid place. We're just going because, of course, family's there, and the airfare tickets were fairly cheap as well, cheaper than usual. That's why my family was like, all right, grab them. Even though, like, you know, it could have been better, and like we could have made better financial decisions for that. But yeah, jeez. Probability, huh? Ah, crap, really? 8 times, huh? That's fine. I was drinking water, that's why. Okay, 100,000 G's. That's gonna be a lot. How am I failing my 50-50s? The worst. My gacha rolls were actually better than this. Jeez, okay. What? Oh, jeez, okay. Why did I have better luck when it was like 45? Luck is such a weird thing. Such a fickle concept. Never made much sense to me. If you stare at the coin long enough, right, if you stare at it at its apex whenever it spins, it's gonna be confusing as to where it's actually spinning. Is it spinning to the left? Is it spinning to the right? You'll never know. What is this probability? Oh my god, dude. This is so dog. Literally? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I said that. Yay. There's no game mechanic. This is just clicking, which means that it's bad for my wrist. Yeah. Key. So we're gonna have to nail like another 8 times in a row to get like enough money for the 5 times, which is so depressing. I'm never getting luck that good ever again. Alright. I'm still at 11,000. Jeez. How frugal of you. The fact that there's a chance that you can never beat this game is insane. Like, that's such a cool concept, though. Like, just having something... I mean, I guess there is inherently, like, a factor of frustration. Like, oh, you know, you can't beat this game because you're just not lucky enough. And, of course, that can be annoying, but at the same time, it can be pretty cool. The fact that this game hinges not on skill, but entirely on luck. It's just a very, very fascinating thing. What even is that thing in the back? What the heck are you? I mean, obviously that's a human being, but geez. Yeah. I don't know how my luck is even worse here. Jeez. How frugal of you. Obviously this is just purely probability, so hell yeah, let's go. Horror. You can tell I'm doing so well right now. The fact that they would do that, so cruel. Now why would you do that? Balls. Alright. The fact that that was actually possible was kind of annoying. The multiple endings was either you fail or you succeed with 10%. Unbelievable. Jeez. Talk about heartbreaking. And I have to get another 9 times to get enough money for another 5% chance. Like, that is madness. Oh, that's not very cash money of you. Come on, I know you want to. I've just been sitting here, tapping away at this for the past like 40 minutes. There has to be someone out there who was so lucky that you can actually, like, they were able to get this game going without needing to get any of the upgrades. Like, I'm willing to bet that there's someone who is this lucky, right? Or if they have enough time, they just use enough an auto clicker for that. Like, that would be insane. But it is probable, right? It's possible and it's probable because it's 20% every time, except it's 20%, 20%, 20% every single time. Like, can you imagine that? But there has to be a mathematical universe where that is inherently possible, even though it is not, like, it's improbable, but it is probable in general. Math, because percentages, it's kind of insane. Like, getting 20%, like, every single, like, flip. Like, that would be insane. And I'm going insane, so think about that. Oh, balls, dude. I basically have to replicate my previous thing with like 9 times. With the 9 times heads. But unfortunately, I'm only rolling tails right now. Just so interesting. Oh, balls, dude. It sucks they have to get to like 1,000, like I have to get 7 in a row to get that $1,000 cash multiplier thing. Like, that's so cruel. So we're just gonna stay here, tapping away at nothing as I continue to yap with no regards to your sanity, because I am slipping. My sanity is slipping. I'm just here to yap. But yeah, I'm glad I'm back in Canada. Not that I would mind necessarily living in other places, but obviously my city itself isn't necessarily the best either. There's a lot of corruption, but every other place has corruption. It's just who hides it better, you know. But yeah, I just like the weather better. That's obviously, and I get it, job opportunities aren't the best right now, and I can attest to that because I am also struggling with job opportunities. But it's, look, it's all right. That's all I can ask for, you know. Just being all right. And yeah. Oh my god, dude. So balls. Ay ay ay. Can I tap any other key to flip it? Oh, I can just press spacebar. Okay, you're gonna hear a spacebar every single, or enter. Sound muted. Oh crap, sound enabled. My bad. Tapping a spacebar is easier than tapping my mouse. I'm not gonna lie. So you're just gonna get the worst keyboard ASMR in existence as I tap away with my spacebar. Because my spacebar is, it's alright. I think it's alright sounding, but it's not lubed. One of my friends, Maple, big keyboard nerd, hears me typing away at a keyboard. He's like, man, your keyboard is not lubed. But yeah, I don't want to get into keyboard stuff because I'm already, all my stuff is already expensive, you know, like all my hobbies. Like photography is not a cheap hobby. Obviously you can work with your phone camera, right? You can work with your phone camera and that's fine. But I find that having a camera with all the ability to control like exposure, ISO, and your aperture is, I think that's so good. And a lot of phones don't really offer that. Back when LG was still producing phones, I was using LG phones. So I was using the LG G5 and the LG G7, and honestly, those were pretty solid phones. Like, those are actually pretty good phones. It's just a shame that LG was like, no, we're pulling out the phone market, because unfortunately not a lot of people buy their phones. But their phones overall were very, very solid. But the camera for an LG phone, you could actually manually adjust a lot of the settings. So you could adjust the exposure time and all that stuff manually. I thought that was so cool. But it's pretty rare that you have that nowadays, right? I think pretty much the only camera pretty much one of the few cameras that you have for that. Huh? Oh, okay. Goodbye. And they say hello to an old friend, 20% chance. Get egg bugged? 1,627. Oh, okay. That's the ending. Okay. So that was I forgot the name of the game. I'm sorry. Unfair Flips. What an interesting game. It honestly is interesting. Just the fact that there's pretty much no luck involved. It's just all it's just no skill involved. Sorry, the opposite. There's no skill involved. This is all luck. This is all probability. This is all math. And I think that's fascinating. So I can't really flip anymore, so of course I have to exit out of this. Yeah, that was Unfair Flips. And yeah, I thought that was just a very, very interesting game in general. I don't know what the man behind the table is. I'm very concerned, but yeah, I honestly don't even remember what I was yapping about. For the most part, I actually wasn't really yapping about the game, but I thought that was a pretty cool and simple game to really represent probability and how it worked. Just, percentage, and just the fact that, hey, you can't really, win at this. It's just like, this is all luck and stuff, and you can't, you can't really improve at this, right? This is all luck. And the fact that it's a luck-based game, I think, might frustrate some people, but the fact that it exists, I thought, is very, very interesting. I'm literally just saying the same things, but in different words. Yeah, I thought it was just a simple game, very simple concept. Yeah, slightly drove me insane, but that's fine. Yeah, if you guys are interested in this game, make sure to, there's not really much of a game. I thought it was just interesting. It's more of a study on probability, of course. If you guys are interested in this game and seeing what other endings are out there, make sure to download the game on Steam right now. It is very, very cheap. And if you guys are interested in this game and the creators' works in the future, make sure to follow them on Steam. Maybe wishlist the game if you can't purchase the game. That's fine. My financial situation doesn't. Oops, sorry, I hit my mouse. My financial situation doesn't necessarily reflect yours, so if you can't buy the game, at least wishlist it and just show your support that way. But yeah, hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you are. And see you guys next time. Bye bye. See you and take care. Bye.